everybody. Smash the like button.
Yo, GM, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It is Wednesday. It is hump day. And it is April 16th. It is 9:02 a.m. And it looks like something, the space rugged. Oh, that's weird. You know what? I'm just going to go on with this. We're going to go on with this like a little bit of a normal show. And almost like the 4 p.m. We'll look at some market stuff. And then if we can reconnect to the space, we will. If not, we'll get it again tomorrow. I just feel like Twitter is a rug. Sometimes those spaces just don't work, and it's not always worth it stopping the whole shebang just to re-engage with a space that might not even work again in the first place. So the show goes on. All right, here we go today, guys. Let's see the markets. It is Wednesday. We did hear that the rumor is that China is selling. Let me see here. China Bitcoin. Let me bring this on up for you guys. Let's see. News China. Let me spell that correctly. Let's see. It looks like China. While crypto still is illegal. I got to find the right article here. While crypto still is illegal in China, it looks like they are selling part of their stockpile. As you know, we've talked about this on the show before. When you look at countries around the world, right, and which countries hold Bitcoin, at least that we know of, right, the published information, the public stuff that we've seen online, the United States had about 219,000 Bitcoin, right? And this is before, I think, the tail end of the Biden administration. And I think at some point soon, we're supposed to find out exactly what we got left, all that kind of stuff. And so I think, so that was the number that we had. And then China, I believe, had like 194,000, and we can look these metrics up here in just a second. But so the whole idea of, them selling a large portion of their Bitcoin, a couple $1 billion worth, if I'm not mistaken, puts them in a different bracket now as far as the rankings of world leaders on paper that hold Bitcoin. But we'll have to see. Let's see. So here is an article. Share this one with you guys here. All right, so China local authorities sell 15,000 Bitcoin via offshore private entities. Okay. Now, this could be FUD. It could just be something to get the price lower and get the markets feeling and reeling and doing all the things. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin itself, we can pop over to CoinMarketCap, and we'll do a little bit better of a rundown like this later on today. The whole thing is, I'm not exactly sure if AJ I think I've got to actually not do the 4 p.m. today. So it's good that we're doing the show like this today anyhow, because I'm going to take AJ to the airport. This is his last day in town. Obviously, the homie would love to take him to the airport. So I'm going to do that. And maybe we can record something, him and I in the car on the way there, because we'll have a little bit of a drive. We can do a little bit of a fun crypto and life conversation. As the last time, him and I are in the same space for now, at least. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's go through this because we wanted to look at Bitcoin really quick. 83.7. So it's down almost 2.5% in the last 24 hours. Still up almost 9% though on the week. So Bitcoin's still doing pretty well. Hanging in there as far as all the FUD goes and all the other things that we've been hearing, and why we've seen some negative price action on the all in all. Like it's recovered pretty well. If you look over here at the 7-day chart, we had some volatility. We had a little bit of a fun start. And then a little reality check, but we've done some things, and that's Bitcoin, and everything kind of follows, very similar. So 83,715 for Bitcoin. Let's go and look at the actual Bitcoin chart. We'll pull this one up here. One of the things that we had been talking about, let's see, we could probably remove that arrow, is I did a show with Flopping Groper, FG, Nick, and we talked about the LeapFrog indicator, and as you can see, I'm running that on here now. So really interested to see, how all of this plays out. I got into a long last night on ONDO. It didn't quite make it to the previous day, but it did make some profit. I ended up setting a stop loss in the profit that got wicked out, and then entered in another trade. It was down a little bit. It all depends on where ONDO's at, but I have a feeling that it's not down much. It's down like a penny or whatever. So I have a feeling that we are going to see some really good price action coming up soon. Because if you can look at this Bitcoin chart, and this is this is the hourly. Let's look at the daily. I think it might tell us a better story here. And this is the story on the daily, at least, right? Like, so we had a nice little bottom here 2 days in a row, or yeah, that's where we want that. Yep. And we can remove some of these other lines. Because again, the story that we want to tell is this, over the course of the last several days. So, really things were still kind of going down. But if you look at the wicks, I mean, we touch in the same spot. So you could count it from Monday, or really from Wednesday the 9th. So, last week we've been going strong. So it's we may be, coming back down here, touching this line of support, and then we go back up. Hey, I'm all for it. But that is what we're looking at right now on Bitcoin. I am, I'm bullish on a lot of these indicators, right? This year to date VWAP that's sitting right here at 91. I feel like, if we were to look at this, the year to date at 91.3, or the previous year at 68.2, if I were to if I were to bet on this, which one it was going to end up touching first, and I believe Flopping Groper put out a post like this earlier this week, which one do you think it touches first? And I think, clearly we are a lot closer to the year to date versus the previous year to date. And so it would make more sense, especially with we've got the momentum, it is carrying us up. And so it could carry us right up into that line. And so that is, playing the LeapFrog with these indicators on these VWAPs, man. I'm telling you, this thing has been pretty interesting to watch it move and act as a some of these VWAPs, man, they act as a magnet. You can get a little bit more granular on the time. And let's instead of the daily, let's look at, say, the 48-minute. All right. And one of the things that I've been liking to play is at 8 p.m. I live on the East Coast. So at 8 p.m. Eastern is when the new candle starts for me. And so that's when we can start to track the new daily, right? So right here, you can see down at the bottom, it may be hard to see. It says 8 p.m. But you can see down there that, this is where the new daily VWAPs begin. And from there, of the first thing that you kind of always want to be doing is making sure that let's check the momentum, but let's try to catch up to the previous day. Let's touch that, because that happens a lot. That's what I tried to hit with that long last night with ONDO, was to touch the previous day, and we got up a little bit, got into the profit again, set a stop loss in the profit, and then we got it wicked out. But with Bitcoin right here, you could see it made a push, earlier this morning towards that that previous day, almost hitting the SMA right here, and came back down. So we may come back down, touch the daily VWAP, get some more support, maybe come down, bounce off this line at 83. So today the support line is 83,420. So if we get a chance to bounce off of that, and then get that support, pick up some more volume, and then rocket ship back up and try to touch the previous day, and then we've also got the week to date VWAP as well. This is another one, on some other time frames and things that you're looking at the previous week to date and the current week to date and the yearly. There's quarterly. There's all sorts of really cool metrics that you can set. You can set some custom ones as well. So if I were you, if you're like, holy shit, this seems really interesting, go back and watch the interview that I did with Flopping Groper. It is on the YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description of this video for you guys so that you can find it if you were watching the replay. But go back and watch that because you can listen to it straight from Flopping Groper himself. And I've obviously got a lot more to learn. That was just one it was a 45-minute interview. We shot the shot the shit for a little bit, and then we talked business and we talked about this stuff. So there's a ton more to learn. Hey, you can always get in the Discord, do all that kind of stuff. But I'm having a lot of fun playing with these the VWAPs and the LeapFrog. So let's take a look at ONDO coming at 81.53. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I'm just recording it right now. So, all right. So let's take a look at ONDO, 81.53. This is one of those that, same thing that we were looking for. When I was talking about on Bitcoin here, is that the idea is to pick this thing up on the previous. So it was a little bit higher, last night as we were trucking along and coming down. But where it is right now, 84.89. So that's the target, right? That's what we'd be targeting. And then obviously from there, you've got the 85.98. You got the week to date, but then also the SMA currently sitting at 87.54. So those are, some targets that if you wanted to pick 3 targets, that's what I would pick is, you try to hit. Obviously, we want to come back to the daily VWAP first. That would be crucial. So pick up that support. We've dropped below the month to date. That's where we're at currently, 81.46. But if we can get that support, we grab some volume, grab some support down where we are, and then make a push back up, hit that daily, push back up to the previous daily, which I'd like to see, and then actually catch back up to the SMA. I think that would be important. And if we zoom out, let's zoom out on the daily here and see if we can. Okay, we pulled it too much. But so the SMA, let's see, let's bring it in. So we are going to have to zoom it in totally. Because what I want to actually do is I think that would make actually more sense is I want to take the SMA. It is green. I would like to make it bigger. Can I? Style. Visibility. Inputs. Man, I can't make it bigger. That's unless this is. No. We'll just cancel that. Let's see. Did it save it? 1440. No. Okay. All right. Well, I would like to make it bigger for the sake of being able to see it when we zoom out a little bit more, but that is not going to happen. It is the green line that does follow the whole thing. And so as you can see, for the most part, this is the SMA right here. And Tuesday was yesterday. Wednesday, we haven't touched it. And there are some days where here it was down below, we were up above it. Now we're down below it, but as you can see, this thing runs right through usually the middle of the price line. So that being said, if you've got tight stops or if you've got some flexibility, you're doing low leverage or whatever, targeting that SMA, that is not too bad of an idea, only because it will come back. Currently, not that I expect it to come back up all the way there, but that's 7%. You put a little leverage on that, and boom, you've got some nice gains. So I would think, by the time everything catches up, let's come on, get off there. By the time everything catches up, in my opinion, is going to be around this where we have this week to date in the previous daily in this zone right here. So, in this time frame, over the next day or so, we'll probably be back up into that, maybe even start to ride back up and cross over a lot of these, VWAPs and the SMA, all that stuff. So time can tell. we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it and keep everybody posted. Obviously, Ondo, that's my jam, and so that's what I'm gonna do a lot of work on. Let's go. Let's take a look at the XRP chart. We made some lines on this yesterday. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's in the triangle of love, isn't it? It sure is. We are in the triangle of love here with XRP. And currently, we are seeing this thing maybe making a pass back down to the low side of it. So, maybe we see it go like this, boom, 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 bah. So, potentially we could see this thing come back down below $2. $1.75 really seems like a high point, and where hopefully, or a low point, I guess, where we're going to find some support. And so the whole idea is let's get it rolling. If we can get better entries as a trader, we're watching this, we're paying attention, we're not anxious to get into it right now, right? Because the whole idea is we would be trading the break anyway. So if this thing doesn't come down and hit support, does a little bop, 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 and then break out, say it does just decide to break out, and then boom, you would trade, you would have, the whole idea is you've got an alarm set on this line right here, which we could do very easily. Where's my toolbar? I don't see it. It's missing. Add alert on trend line. There we go. Trade the break. Once per bar. Boom. There you go. So remember, that's one of those things that you can do as someone, maybe you're newer to trading, or maybe even you've done this for a while and you haven't really had that as part of your strategy, is make sure you set those alarms and those alerts so you don't have to constantly be staring at that XRP chart, right? I know that I want to trade the break. I know that, but I don't have to constantly be looking at the XRP chart anymore. I can look at the other charts that I'm actively trading right now, like the ONDO chart or whatever it may be. So do the work, set the alarms, react to the work that you've already done. You don't want to be doing guesswork all the time. Sometimes you do a little bit, right? We all do a little bit where we preemptively get into a trade, hoping low leverage, not big risk, not big amounts, but you take a chance on something to make a quick little come up, whatever, couple bucks here and there, whatever, no big deal. Smash the like. All right, so that's what we're doing. That's our plan for XRP, is we are just waiting to trade the break on that. So we could be in this triangle of love until mid-May. We may have to wait this thing out a month. We may have to wait it out a month. But better to be patient and get the trade that we want. Get the trade that we want. Don't force it. That's the goal. All right, VChain. What's up with the VChain? Been a while since we looked at the VChain chart. Let's zoom it out and let's get an overview of the weekly. Man, this thing has been on a downward trend, like everything, for this entire year. As you can see, since Monday, December 9th, we had the last big body. And then this week, it started going downhill for sure, for just about every project in the market, especially if their top projects for sure kind of all reacted the same. And so this is what we've got here. Previous daily VWAP looks kind of strange all the way down there. That seems to be an error on the VChain, but we could probably let's change the chart. We should be here anyway. Yeah, here we go. Here's the right chart. This is what we want with our arrows. Boom. We're just going to move this over here. Wishful thinking. We can get this old zone out of the way. There we go. Now we've got, I think, some better lines. And so we have got ourselves an uphill climb but an uphill climb of some major gains, if I do say so myself. If you were to think, yeah, let's come down here, touch this previous week to date of the VWAP, I guess, check that off, and then let's start working on the year to date, come back up to it, right? We know that's going to happen. we could probably back test. I'm sure there's a way to back test some of this stuff. I actually want to talk to Nick about that and see if there's, because sometimes when you lose, like say for instance the daily, right, like that shit it like resets every day, and so you don't get a way to go back and check and see how did it react with this, with that. It turns into the daily, and so all right. VChain. What are we gonna do with VChain? Let's draw this for real, for real. We're gonna cut it and see that would have made the most sense, and that would have been our breakout. But now we gotta have it right here. We go through a couple wicks, so we're good. All right. We did find this bottom from this is like a historic bottom here. Pull this one across. Pull this one across. So there we go. So as you can see, that's set there. And when we look at that, I mean, that is a massive triangle. That is also a triangle of love. I mean, I feel like we probably could say, let's go. This goes back to 2023. I know VChain itself goes back farther than that, but as a perpetual trading coin on Femex, which, by the way, if you want to join the trading team, link is in the description. Link is in the description. Currently, we've got the Easter trading competition going on. There is prize pools for just about every threshold you could imagine of trading volume. So don't let that discourage you. Get involved, sign up, join the W3BC trade team, smash the link down below, get it going. No KYC. You don't have to use a VPN. I have whitelisted my account for you guys so that you could just get in there and do your trading. If you've already got an exchange, an account somewhere else, or even on Femex, it doesn't matter. Get another one. Everybody's got multiple accounts. You could do that, right? Join the trade team. We're going to be doing stuff. We'll do contests. We'll do giveaways, prizes, all that kind of shit. So make sure you're not only smashing the like button, make sure you're clicking the link, join the trade team, and get in there, man. Get in there while the getting is good. Let's go. All right. So that's our plan with VChain. As we will also set, this is our other bottom. So, I mean, I'm telling you, this really isn't that good of a trend line because it's so steep. It's almost like it could be a rounded one a little bit, like because it just the way that it worked out. And steep is not maybe the right word that I was looking for. But anyway, we potentially could be breaking out. Let's zoom this thing back out really quick. I want to make sure, for the sake of being true, let's just touch the wick there. I'm going to bring it out like that. It'll extend our time a little bit. It gives us till kind of like another coin, the middle of the month of May. Gives us a month to enter the triangle of love, find a place, do its thing, then make its move. And as you know, we are bulls here on this channel. And so the whole idea is that thing is going to rip to the upside. That's the plan, at least. If it does something different, we'll react. That's why you set your alarms. So set your alarms on the uptrend, set your alarms on the support levels. I got to figure out where the little thing went. Let's see here. Add alert on trend line. Trade the break. Once per bar. Create. We'll do this one. We've been flirting with that one or that line already. I'm not so worried about that. This would be like an actual true bottom at about a penny, a little bit below a penny and a half. So add here. This would be. Whoa, I can't type. Generational long opportunity. There you go. So, boom. All right. There you go. There's a couple charts. We did talk about China selling their Bitcoin. That seemed to be really the biggest news, other than, just some other dog shit. But another day, another dollar in the crypto world, as they say. I don't know who says that at all, actually, to be perfectly honest with you. So, but short show today. Just wanted to go through some charts. Obviously, had some issues with the X space, so we'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, X will have it figured out. I don't know what the problem was, but it was Rug City for me today. So, I appreciate you guys tuning into the replay. Short one, but sweet. I think we got some really good opportunities in the markets, guys. What we want to be patient for is the right opportunity to find those longs that are going to really, really, really make us some good money. And the idea is, if we need to trade the chop right now, lower your time frames, set your stop losses, do the things that you got to do to stay active, have some fun, try to make a couple bucks here and there, but keep yourself in the game. Don't get smoked out, because if you hang out there for the longer term, things are going to get better. Things are going to get real good. And if it's your first time here in crypto, man, when altcoin season happens, really quick, before we shut that down, let's talk about this really quick, because I think this is a really good one to talk about. Altcoin season. So two things need to happen for an altcoin season. One, we need this chart. This is the total crypto market cap, including the total crypto market cap, excluding the top 10. So no Bitcoin, no Ethereum, no XRP, no Solana, no Tether, USDC, none of that stuff, right? It's a true indicator of the altcoins. So we need to see that go up in a big way, because as you can see, this thing has just been on a downward slide. Like we talked about some coins in just a few minutes ago. This is that true indicator. Since December, this thing has been on a down. That needs to change. So you can see that green arrow. The other chart you need to be watching is Bitcoin dominance. And unfortunately, as you can see, this thing, while it's not set a new all-time high, because we wicked up here to 64.32, thereabouts, 63.4 recently, we are pushing with a body right now, over 64. We just hit 64.01. So over 64% with a body right now. We'll see where this thing stops, but the whole idea is we need this chart to do the opposite of that altcoin chart. We need this thing to go down. So what I have circled is what you saw in November. Now remember, you don't need to see the Bitcoin price go down. Okay, here is that same time frame circled. Okay, it's going up. Bitcoin is ripping up during this time frame. And that is a-okay. That can happen, but we need money in alts. So remember, you need the others chart to rip. You need the Bitcoin dominance chart to dip. That right there is your indicator of an altcoin season. Anything else is smoke and motherfucking mirrors. Guys, I appreciate you being here. Make sure you smash the like button on your way out of here. Remember to do something every single day that you can. Try your best to improve by 1%, no matter what it is. It could be your relationship. It could be your job. It could be your hobby. It could be anything in the world. But as long as you are trying to improve yourself by 1% every single day, you're going to win. That's the stuff that truly matters. So I will see you guys probably not later today, but I will see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. I appreciate you guys. Ciao for now, mi amigos. Let's go.